Hello everybody, my name is Shortline614. Welcome to episode 3 of Shortline Space Program. In this episode, we are launching the second to last launch for the Columbia Station assembly flights. This is the refueling module, I guess the tanker module for the future nuclear tug. So this module contains a giant liquid fuel tank. It contains also standard liquid fuel and oxidizer tanks and monopropellant. It also has some radiators on it, which is pretty nice. But as you can see, this is a brand new launch vehicle. This is the Rappahannock. This is the Rappahannock launch vehicle. Obviously, my 2.5 meter launch vehicle is the Chesapeake. So this is the Rappahannock series, which is 3.5 meters, and fairly simple. Basically, just the same as it's basically the same as the Chesapeake. It's except it's 3.5 meters. But as you can see, we obviously that first stage went out, and we are now burning the second stage. This is the first episode of Shortline Space Program that is in Kerbal Space Program version 1.10, which was released sometime last week. I was actually in North Carolina at the time, doing stuff there. As you can see, our launch, I kind of launched at a weird angle, so I kind of had to correct that with our orbital insertion burn. But there is the payload, and this isn't using any of the new 1.10 parts except for those nice decals, which have been added to the game, which are really nice. But as you can see, that's the module. As you can see at the top, there's obviously standard probe core SAS battery, and then there's liquid fuel and oxidizer tanks, and there's liquid fuel, and there's the monopropellant at the bottom. But I managed to get a rendezvous in one orbit, which is really nice. Really nice. If you want to learn how to get orbits or rendezvous like that, just keep practicing doing this. Like, I'm pretty sure for the past year, the only thing that I've really been doing in this game is building space stations. So I've gotten pretty decent at rendezvous. But the module also obviously has radiators. I think I already said that. Solar panels. It has those small engines at the bottom, just in case if I ever need to adjust the orbit of the station. And the future nuclear fuel tug is going to be going at the back of that, and the front is going to be docked to the station. Now, the Rappahannock upper stage, unlike the ones on the Chesapeake, it is not a tug. Now, eventually, I will make the Rappahannock upper stage into a tug like the ones I have in the Chesapeake, but this I knew that I would, in order to actually get to the station, I would need to use fuel in both the payload itself and the upper stage, so I just didn't bother. You know, because with the past tugs, I brought them to the station and dumped the fuel into the station itself. But as you can see, we're getting close to the station. The station's going to look a bit different because I did actually two-part live streams, I guess. They were right after each other because I had to eat dinner in between, where I put on the crew and docking segment of the station, which holds 16 Kerbals and has 3 docking port seniors and 2 just the normal docking ports. And I also brought up a crew using a crew vehicle that was derived from our little orbital assembly tug, which is nice. So, I disconnect that from the upper stage, so I can just fly off and do whatever. I'm probably deleted in the tracking station, but I begin to use the RCS to slow down relative to the station, and this is a big payload. I think on liftoff it weighed something like 50 tons, but because of all the fuel that we used to get here, it probably weighs something about, like, I don't know, 30 tons now. So I switch back to the station. As you can see, there's that crew and docking segment and the Kerbals. Jeb, Bill, and I think Bob are there as well. But as you can see, we take our little handy space tug, orbital assembly tug, and we obviously go out and wrangle this thing in, which is pretty nice. Probably on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Oh yeah, by the way. I was coming in a bit too fast with the tug approaching the craft, so I just time warped and it clipped through it, which, if you're ever about to collide into another craft and you don't want to, just to do that. As long as you don't stop time warp while your craft that you're flying is clipping into the other craft in case it will explode. Unless you want that to happen. But as I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, this was probably about a 5 to dock. If 10 is the hardest, a massive payload, and one is like it's something so small and so insignificant that it really doesn't matter. This would probably be about 5 or 6. The trusses would probably be about an 8. In the docking segment, I actually had a bit of trouble with that due to the trying to get orientated right. But as you can see with this, we orientate this right, and we dock, and the tug is connected, it's docked, and now we just have to go dock this thing. The part on the top, docking port senior on the top, is going to be what's connected to the station, and it's going to be directly opposite of that crew and docking module. And at the back, that's where the nuclear tug is going to connect, or if I want to have multiple nuclear tugs, or maybe this doesn't have enough fuel for the tug, even though the tug is going to be basically derived off of this as well. But I could attach another fuel section to it if I really wanted to. But as you can see, we come into the station. The solar panels are kind of iffy because I forgot to lock all of the robotics parts. You'll see me do that in a bit. But as you can see, I come down. I switch to the station real quick before I set the as target. And then I begin to fly in. Now, I did make one mistake while docking this, and I only found that out later on once I already stopped the recording. I docked it in a way so that those solar panels on the center truss segment can't deploy without clipping into the radiators on this. So I'm going to have to go back and reorientate this thing, which that will be real quick and easy to do, but it did kind of suck. I'll probably do that in the next episode where I send up all the miscellaneous stuff, which is mostly just, adapters, probably a smaller tug, refueling stuff, a ore tank, and, a refinery, which I don't think I'm really going to need on this, but it is nice to have. But as you can see, this was a pretty... At this point, the docking was... It was rather tedious because I wanted to get orientated right, and I didn't want to have to go in and go back all the time. So I'm starting to get really good at using those translation controls for docking. It is pretty nice, though, to use them. But, yeah, just trying to get everything lined up. I know there's a docking indicator mod that I should probably use, but... to make things easier on myself, but that's just another list of the stuff that I need to download but haven't gotten around to doing. So yeah, I stop relative to the station, I orientate, and then I aim my camera at the docking port, and then I do a bit of cinematics to get this thing. Once I'm comfortable with how this thing is, I slow down to like the slowest speed, and then I do a bit of cinematics, and these things will slowly dock together. This is all at 3 speed, by the way. And there's a bit of wobble there, and I disable the SIS and RCS, and here is the station. So the rest of this episode is mostly just random station keeping stuff. I refuel some of the tanks, and refuel the... I refuel the tug once I reposition it, but... and then I correct this issue, which is the whole robotics part issue, because I didn't forget to lock them. And as you can see, the solar panels go insane and they clip inside the station, but it doesn't matter because they're the same part, they're on the same craft, and then I lock everything. So hopefully these won't go insane anymore whenever I come close to the station. So yeah, I lock that, I switch over here, and then I lock these as well, which is very, very nice. And then I think I tried to do some more fuel transfer. For some reason, halfway through this, the fuel transfer kind of broke, and it wouldn't let me transfer fuel, even though crossfeed on everything was enabled. But I do take the tug, and I reposition it into its proper place. We don't really need this for now. I'm gonna have to reposition the module that we just docked so I can deploy those solar panels over there. I'll probably do that in the next episode. And over there you can get a good look at the little crew vehicle, which is derived off of this tug. It brought Jeb, Bill, and Bob up here on during the tail end of that live stream that I did, where I docked the orbital and the crew and docking segment. You can get a good look at that. And, of course, being myself, I did forget lights on both of these two modules, which... it's fine. Lights are useful, though. And there we go. And the two are docked. and then I try to transfer some fuel, and I refuel the tug, of course, and for some reason it won't let me transfer fuel. That's an issue with KSP. I don't know if that's because of me updating this to 1.10. Surprisingly enough, nothing actually broke during the update to 1.10. It does say some of the only mods I really have are visual mods, and while though some of those are outdated, it didn't really affect anything else, or hopefully it doesn't corrupt the save, but I make backups of this save every time I do something, so. But anyways, I think we get to do cinematics of this station, and Columbia Station's almost done. We just need one miscellaneous launch to bring up a bunch of random equipment. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Please, if you're on YouTube and BitChute, like, subscribe, and comment. I do live streams on YouTube and Twitch fairly often. Join the Discord server, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.